Another one.
Versus, I got a question. I'll be working to collaborate on a coding project for a group. What's the best way to contribute early on as I grow? So, that is an excellent question, I must say. And I'm going to start our timer for that one. And let me make sure it's anything else. Yes, 2 separate words. All right, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. So, working on a coding project for a group. I guess first I would say I think the biggest problem that when groups make when they start working on a project, right, is that they don't have any structure behind the group. And first, just add some context. I network with someone that has a group, small company that's looking to collaborate. All right, perfect. So the problem is that they don't necessarily have the right structure. They don't go through the necessary software development life cycle. Maybe they're not using the agile methodology. They kind of wild west it. And for me, I think that's going to be a big challenge because there's no order, there's no discipline. People are just kind of like doing things at their like when they have time, when they feel like it and stuff like that, as opposed to setting up an agile project, setting up a Jira board, and having like dedicating themselves to the actual project so they can actually make progress on it. I would say I think, I speak to Ferris all the time. I think that you have a very structured approach to the thing that you do, and you're able to think through. You're able to map things out. So I think the first thing in collaborating on this coding project is to make sure that they have a good structure. So like make sure like find out their dedication level too. Like how committed are they to getting this done? Because the way that I run my coaching group is that we're using Scrum. We do 2-week sprints, and every 2 weeks at the end of every 2 weeks we do our Scrum night where we do our sprint review, our sprint retrospective to see how things went, what went well, what didn't go so well, what we could do better, and then we do our planning where we start our next sprint. And I think that implementing that structure now, not having people just do whatever they want, writing good user stories, right? Writing good user stories so that we know exactly what the outcome that we're looking, having a roadmap as well. Like, what is it that we're trying to build? Having good understanding, having good documentation. I think that right there, like that's going to help with those soft skills, those people skills and things like that, where you're going to have a nice and neat project as opposed to people just doing what they want and there's no structure, there's no order. There's I'll give you an example. I was able to get one of my coaching members connected to a startup, right? As a way to build experience. Now, the problem is that we're ready to move and things like that, while the startup is like super slow, very not the best organized, and it makes it tough. So I think that part is going to be super helpful to you, because now you're like not necessarily managing the project, but making sure there's structure and things like that. Now it also depends on the code base that you're going to be doing. If you're doing Python, then I think that you're well on your way to learning Python and things like that. But also getting more familiar with the different parts of Git, checking out code, checking in code, things of that nature. Let me see. It just depends on it really depends on your role in the project as well. I think as you find out more information, there can be like more details to be provided. You said so. Ferris also said, okay, maybe I can give it structure, agile, security for the SDLC and code reviews. I think that's awesome. I did ask about user stories and stuff too, and seems they don't use that. So yeah, as I learn more, code more. Yeah, that's see. How did I know? How did I know that they don't use user stories and stuff, because that is for me, I would absolutely refuse to work with anyone who doesn't want to have structure, because how do you know what you're going to be doing? How do you know what you're going to be reviewing? How do you know what's going to be the expected outcome of the work that you're supposed to be doing? So I would say you really want to push that. And if they don't like it, then they're not software developers, engineers, whatever they want to call themselves. It's like, for me, that like that is part of being a software engineer, software developer. You have, even if you're learning, the same way when you are working through the Python course, and you have a list of things that you need to accomplish for that whatever that coding project is to be considered completed. Same thing. Like, you need to have what needs to be done and all the details that need to be implemented as part of it, in order so you can know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I would say, like, whether they're doing Kanban or Scrum, fine. But I don't like, and this has bit me before in the past. I don't like working with people who aren't invested in whatever it is that they say that they want to do. And now you end up spending a bunch of time, energy, resources where you could definitely be doing something else, learning something else, and they're flaky. And then all of a sudden, people just stop showing up, and you put in all this time where you could have been, like, working on the certifications that you're planning on getting. It could be learning Python. You could be playing that, what, Eden something, the game that you're playing now. Who knows? I'm not a game person, right? But so that's what I say. Be careful with your time. Make sure that they are committed to it. If you're going to be participating, and fine. Like, as you get more details, we'll talk about it some more. But that's what I would say for that one. All right.
Scrolling through my phone, I can't find a spark. Each day feels like a bug in a broken arc. But my lines of code know me better than they do. In love with these scripts, they hold me true. Conversations fizzle, hearts feel like a chore. Bad dates come and go, but the code's always there. Lines of love in the night, pulling me from despair. These fleeting connections can't break through the strain. I'm lost in these programs, I'm coding my pain. Dining on hopes, but the vibe feels so wrong. Wondering if I can fix what's taking too long. But while dinner gets cold, my thoughts start to race. I'd rather be debugging in my own safe space. Is it me or the code that keeps me awake? Bad days come and go, but the code's always there. Lines of love in the night, pulling me from despair. These fleeting connections can't break through the strain. I'm lost in these programs, I'm coding my pain. Okay, dining on hopes, but the vibe feels so wrong. Wondering if I can fix what's taking too long. But while dinner gets cold, my thoughts start to race. I'd rather be debugging in my own safe space. Is it me or the code that keeps me awake? Awake, awake. Bad days come and go, but the code's always there. Lines of love in the night, pulling me from despair. These fleeting connections can't break through the strain. I'm lost in these programs, I'm coding my pain. So I lay down my heart, let the functions run free. In the realm of my code, that's where I'll be. I'll lay down my heart,